Hello, everybody. We have some wild weather. One round is exiting off the East Coast as we head into a new work week. And now a system rolling out of the Rocky Mountains promises to bring a round of severe weather across the central part of the nation. This will spread up, as you see here in this forecast model guidance, right into the Great Lakes and the northeastern United States again. But we will have severe weather potential in the southern plains and the Gulf Coast states and out toward the mid-Atlantic states. And we will have blizzard conditions and winter storm conditions across much of the nation's breadbasket, from the high plains of Colorado into western parts of Nebraska and Kansas. As you see here, it sweeps up through Iowa and Chicago as well. And in the meanwhile, we'll have another system making landfall in the Pacific Northwest as we begin our work week tonight and into the day on your Monday. This system lasts into Tuesday and beyond as it continues to carry what's going to be a very active weather pattern, as you saw right here on Hutch's Weather. Now, if you have an opportunity, go ahead and make a comment on the video here and let me know where you're watching from. And if you have any questions, I'll sure try to get to those and answer those as well. But the bottom line is very active weather. We'll step through time on this one and we'll pause it as we go into our Monday and check this out. Look at the heavy rain, showers, and even some thunderstorms. Now, as you go south of St. Louis, there's this transition line to just solid rain and heavy rain at that. Now, we need a lot of rain in parts of Louisiana. It's parched in parts of the Arkansas area, as well as the Mississippi Delta. And there's some heavy rain as we go into our evening on Monday night developing. And some of these could bring severe thunderstorms. So keep that in mind and make sure you're tuning into your local source for weather and local National Weather Service office with regards to that. And I'll show you a little bit about the risks with that system as well. By the time we get to Monday night, snow will be spreading out of the high plains of Colorado into western Kansas from Dodge City and the Goodland area right up into Lincoln, Nebraska. And where we see these white colors here, we're talking about a serious smacking of snow and wind all the way up to Sioux Falls. So many folks traveling back to South Dakota from, well, Frisco, Texas. There's a big national championship football game there where the Jackrabbits took home the national prize. But travelers, be advised, as you go anywhere north of Topeka, you're going to be driving through wind and snow. It gets worse throughout the day on Monday, and this system lasts into Tuesday. Now, as we carry the model on, we'll show you that its track right now looks like it carries it into the Ohio River Valley, Indianapolis and Cincinnati, right on that transitionary line. But as you go south, here are the strong thunderstorms moving through Birmingham, Montgomery, Alabama, all the way down into New Orleans as we head into our overnight hours now. And these could still be very strong storms heading into the night. Notice the mixed precipitation as we get up into the Roanoke area. Yeah, that elevation will add to the wintry mix. It could be taking place there. Now, this system rolls through central Iowa with a smacking of snow and even wind potential with it. Look at Milwaukee to Chicago. Millions impacted, and well, big airport hubs could be impacted by this system as well. And this is in the wee hours of the 9th as we head into the morning. Now, going into your Tuesday, this system spreads through the Great Lakes and on toward Detroit with a wintry mix in central and southern parts of Michigan. But you get up north of Saginaw, and we're talking about very wintry conditions there. And look at the rain and thunderstorm potential from Atlanta, Georgia, and on into the southeast Atlantic coast states. Yep, we're talking about severe weather potential there, and we'll show you where the highlighted areas are from the Storm Prediction Center. Meanwhile, system making landfall in the Pacific Northwest will smack the areas of the Cascades and the northern Rockies of Idaho and western Montana with bouts of heavy snow, and yet again another round for the mountains of California as well as the desert Southwest with the next wave coming. Carrying us out in time to the end of the model run, we'll see this weather system continue to spread eastward. It's going to Ottawa, it's going to Toronto and Boston. This time looks like we'll take a look on this particular model run. But again, you're right on that boundary between snow and rain with this next system that will be blowing its way through. And on the backside of it, once the winds become north, that's when we'll have a chance at seeing more of this from Louisville all the way up into parts near Toronto and Lake Erie. switching over to flat out snow. Now, let's take a look at this same model, but what we're going to look at now is going to be a look at the snowfall potential. Now, keep in mind, the farther we go out, your snowfall potential will vary, and this is just one model. It's called model guidance for a reason. It's guidance. Rely on your local National Weather Service offices for the latest on the details in the forecast. This is just guidance to show you the potential or how much snow a system like this could create. Check it out from Pueblo, Colorado, in the southeastern quadrant of Colorado, northern parts of the panhandle of Texas, into the panhandle of Oklahoma. There's significant snow potential with this system on Monday. How much, you ask? Well, let's take a look. In the panhandle of Oklahoma, we're talking a good several inches of snow, possibly 4 or more inches in a few spots. Not everybody. Now, as we carry you through and look out into eastern Colorado here on I-70, as you get out towards Lyman and east of there into Goodland, Kansas, Hayes, Kansas, there's a pocket of snow potential that is ridiculous, and we're talking over 8 inches of snow. We do have blizzard warnings for these areas as well, and I'll show you that. Now, the heavy snow band as we carry our way through the system goes Monday and into Tuesday. And look at this, from Grand Island, Nebraska, right on that I-70 corridor and the I-80 corridor, rather, will take you into Omaha. We have the Sioux Falls area, and that's I-90, and the north-south route, I-29. Look at the snowfall potential there. Many areas with over 8 inches of snow. Now, we do have the potential for some heavy snow as well as we carry out into Des Moines and as we go into places in Wisconsin, from Milwaukee and out towards Chicago. However, the system doesn't get here until we really approach Tuesday, which is 2 days out. So I have a little lower confidence into the track of this model here. We'll keep you posted. Southwest Minnesota, areas south of Fargo, going to have a chance at seeing some snow. Minneapolis looks to be on the warmer side of the system, but there will be some measurable snow and impacts to air travel in these areas. So keep advised of that. Now, this is not showing rainfall, flooding rain all the way through the Gulf Coast states, but I do want to take just a moment and share with you a look at the radar nationally. And to do that, let's take a look at, well, this is going to show you what we have going on with regards to the risk for severe weather. So let me pull that up here right now as we go through on the radar. Here we go. This is a look at what's going on as we head into the evening now. We have very little radar activity showing up across the nation in the deep south. But when this system works its way through, check out the risk for severe weather potential as we take a look at the Storm Prediction Center's outlook for severe weather. Here we go. Let's go with the day 1 outlook. And well, no, let's go with day 2, excuse me. As we go into our Monday, we'll have some areas with an enhanced risk of severe weather. And I'll turn off this and move you down and look at this. From Dallas, you see the green? This green area here is what we call a level 1 on a 3-level scale of severe weather. It's called marginal. That means storms may be really close to severe levels. This includes you in Austin, Fort Worth, Shreveport, Louisiana, northern Louisiana. A greater risk for severe weather is where we have the yellow here. This is called a slight risk. That's level 2 on a 5-level scale. It does not mean we're going to have widespread outbreaks of super strong storms, but we are going to have to keep our eyes on them, and we could have a few that reach severe weather criteria in these areas. So from the Galveston Island area and Bay City right up through Alexandria, Baton Rouge, though, where we see this next shade, that's a level 3. It's called an enhanced risk. We may see more widespread showers and thunderstorms that become severe in these areas. And there will be the at least possibility for some of these storms to not only pack large hail, but other types of severe weather. And to take a look at that, I'll load up for you a peek at what the National Weather Service's arm called the Storm Prediction Center is showing with regards to, let's look at the tornado risk as well as the wind risk and the hail risk in a minute. But the tornado risk here, you look at the yellow, let me show you what that means. This yellow hatched area here, that is an area where we have a risk for tornadoes that is pretty high. So there's a lot of spin or shear in the atmosphere in these areas. And because of that, you'll want to pay attention to your local media sources, your NOAA weather radios from New Orleans to Baton Rouge, all the way out to Crestview and Destin, Pensacola, Florida. So that panhandle of Florida, all the way into the far southwesternmost counties in Alabama and Mississippi from Hattiesburg straight south. So Gulfport, Mississippi in the same risk area. As we take a look at this and click on it, it's a significant severe risk. And there's a 10% risk of basically within 25 miles of any point in this area of seeing those severe weather threats. Now, the threat that we plotted here was the threat for tornadoes. And if we want to read a little bit more about it, I can just tell you strong wind gusts will be one of the main threats, and tornadoes are expected, okay, from parts of southeast Texas all the way into the central Gulf Coast. So this is the Storm Prediction Center's language that they're putting out here. We're expecting the possibility for tornadoes. And the time frame of this advisory is actually going to be into the early week. So we're talking Monday and into the latter afternoon and evening hours, even into the nighttime hours on the eastern reaches of this and overnight. And one of the things about the southern part of the United States is that risk for overnight storms where you just can't see anything. So please have those weather radios ready. Make sure you're keeping up to date with the latest as far as that goes in your local area. So we could have some severe weather outbreak. This is the day one forecast. This is for your Monday night into the very wee hours of your Tuesday morning. Now I'll pop this up and show you a little look at what's going on for day two when it comes to the same type of an outlook. And we'll show you that date. This will be on Tuesday now as we take a look at this. Now you see the risk shifts, and we see the yellow, which is the areas of slight risk, and the orange in the panhandle of Florida being the enhanced risk, or a level 3 on that scale. So keep in mind, anywhere in the yellow and even in the orange, we could see an enhanced risk for some areas getting some severe weather, and this could be in the wee hours of the morning and then redeveloping into the afternoon hours. So if you are in Tampa, St. Pete, up to Jacksonville, all the way up into Columbia, and also the Charleston area and Myrtle Beach, all of you have a chance at seeing some very strong severe weather in the form of thunderstorms. So that's a look at those watches and warnings and advisories across the area. I'm going to turn those off, and let's take a look at your local National Weather Service watches and warnings across the nation as we close out our Sunday and head into the beginning of the week. And this is pretty interesting because what it's going to show you, let me turn this off. So we take that off, and now we will turn on a look at the weather potential for severe weather, not severe weather rather, but the local watches and warnings across the nation. So here we go. Now, what you're going to see loading up is a whole area of pink, a whole area of bright fuchsia. Okay, those are blizzard warnings. We have blizzard warnings in the high country, in the Pacific Northwest, the southern Rockies, the panhandle of Texas, into western parts of Oklahoma and Kansas. All of this area is a blizzard warning. High winds, zero visibility, and redonkulous amounts of snow in excess of 6 to 8 inches of snow, and some models are advertising even more than that. The pink counties you see here, winter storm warnings. So anywhere along I-90, I-80, all the way down into the up into the I-70 category as well. East-west thoroughfares, I-29 moving north and south, impacted by this as portions of, well, the West Coast, the East Coast as well. So, and the watch. A watch in yellow is issued, a winter storm watch for the Chicago area as a storm system exits through parts of Iowa and heads up into the north. It's a watch because it's still a couple of days out, and the precise track and which counties may need to be in a winter storm warning versus a winter weather advisory, et cetera, will be delineated shortly. So keep in mind, pay attention to your local National Weather Service offices. They know best what's going on in your area with your terrain impacts and the like with regards to these systems. So my name is Hutch Johnson. I'm a meteorologist. I've been on air for 26 years and did some teaching at the college level for the better part of 20 years as well. I also, I love doing what I've done and have done research for 5 years as well in research meteorology. So that's a little bit about my background. If you like what you've seen here, I'd love to have you throw a like to my video here or follow my page here on Hutch's Weather. Love to have you subscribe. Click the little dingle bell next to it, and that way you might get some updates when we're going live. Again, active weather as we begin the new week, Monday and Tuesday, from the West Coast, where a new system will be making landfall in the Pacific Northwest, to a developing system right now that will impact the weather Monday and into Tuesday in all of these highlighted counties you see here, and the Gulf Coast states in the south having an outbreak of severe weather potentially.